It's 1 p.m. So as you can see, hopefully it's sharing there for you. You guys can get to the presentation, but I've really liked lately using Slide Mania's notebooks. They have several different notebooks that you can use either for your classes or just for yourself. But this is one of them that I kind of modified to fit today's session. So if you actually want to make a copy of it, you can actually take your own notes right inside of that notebook then. Has anybody used those? You can throw something in the chat if you have. I really liked them. So today we're going to be talking about remote learning and really can it be engaging within Zoom. And so we'll see if I can do something to help maybe make it a little more engaging. All right, I think I have some help already with Beth being my Zoom jockey. But this is something that's pretty important. And so I just put it in the notebook there, have somebody be a chat monitor, have somebody be a timekeeper to kind of make sure things are rolling along and those types of things. So, oops, I thought I was editing, but I would type in there Beth as both.
Can you share the link to that notebook again, Jason?
Yep, for sure. Because what I want you guys to do, if you're not, if you haven't already, is to click on that Jamboard activity. And so here are the links. bit.ly/N, D, A, L, A, sorry, Z, OOM. And so
it is requesting access even to make a copy. That doesn't make sense.
Maybe it is. By golly, I am so sorry. All right, now you should be able to do it.
Okay. There we go. Yep, worked. Perfect.
I guess I could have just put it in the chat, huh? bit.ly/NDLA Zoom.
Just a quick question. It's asking me to like enter my Google account in order to, should that be the case?
Yes, for when you copy it, what it'll do is copy that right into your Google account so that you have your very own copy that you won't be editing mine.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Yep. So there's the two links. I will pop over here and we're going to do a little jam activity. And so I believe if you click on that, you will be asked to introduce yourself. And so what I want you to do, if you can, if you've gotten in there, is just click on the Post-it note here, the sticky note on the left-hand side, and just who you are, your organization, something fun to know about you. I did that here. You can change the color. If you guys want to just type something, you can do that. You can just use the text box option. Cool. Awesome. Very nice. Deb likes to keep quiet. Oh, quilt. just gonna say quiet and Deb. And you didn't put anything in there about your polka stuff, Beth? Oh, pie. What's your favorite kind of pie, Sarah? I'd have to say mine is French silk. That's what I'm craving right now. Andrew's neither a quilter nor is he quiet. And you can also change the size of them too. So this is really cool because what you guys can start doing is also adding pictures. And so I added a picture of my lovely therapy dog, Charlie, who's reading Go Dog Go. All right. Awesome. All right. Next, I want to get a feel for, not only do I want to get to know you a little bit, but I want to get a feel for what you guys have experienced with engagement. So if you click on in the top there, the next frame, and go to frame 2, I want you to enter in what are some engaging icebreakers and activities you've experienced online before. If you have, if you haven't, put that as well. Mm-hmm. Flipgrid's a great tool. Yeah, awesome. Learning how to use Jamboard. All right. Aha slides. I've never used that one. Word clouds. Zoom scavenger hunt. Yes, I've been a part of those. Those are fun. Oh, a Mad Lib story. That would be fun. Even doing something like that within here would be, you could do that. Especially with the text box, because you can just start typing one day, and then somebody else could add to it. Yeah, cool. Right, Kahoot, yes, Mentimeter. Mentimeter's been a popular one, yes. Yes, I like that idea of separate slides in Google Slides. Awesome. All right. That color one that just popped up there, that kind of reminds me of where we're going to go next. Let's go to frame 3. And I want you guys to drag one of those, just pick a dot at the bottom, either red, green, or blue. And I want you to take that dot and put it where are you comfortable with technology or not so comfortable? See where we're at on the spectrum here. So what I did to create this slide or this frame, I just took one of these dots like this. I'm using the spotlight tool right now, but I just took that and then highlighted it and then copy and then paste, 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 paste. So it's really easy to create those dots. All right, so you guys are all pretty comfortable with technology, at least on the 50% and above. Yeah, you can change someone's kind of a squished very comfortable. All right, and let's go to slide frame 4, and we'll kind of do the same thing with Zoom. How comfortable are you with Zoom? That's super helpful to know because some of the things that are in here.
There's a question, Jason.
Okay.
These are awesome tools. This is coming from Mike. Since they do not use Google at work, are there Office 365 alternatives that you're aware of?
Not necessarily Office 365 that I'm aware of, but hold on, we might have another idea or technology that's built right into Zoom that would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot to look. Sarah the pumpkin pie eater. All right. I'm not a big fan of pumpkin. Once a year, it's good. Awesome. So it looks like we're comfortable with technology. We're comfortable with Zoom. I'm just going to review back here real quick. We might refer back to this towards the end, but great. I'm going to go back to the presentation now. You guys can always get there and see who's in there. One of the things that I wanted to show, I'm kind of a concrete type of person. And so if I don't see it in the real world or experience it, then it's hard for me to conceptualize. And so we've been working with the global goals with our STEM project. And so I'm going to use that as kind of an example for today's things that we're doing. So you guys will hopefully get to learn a little bit, not only about some engagement things, but some global goals. So let's move on here. All right, so it looks like most of you have your video turned off, but we're gonna play a game of Would You Rather. And so to do that, I'm gonna need some thumbs up and thumbs down. So you might have to turn your video on if you're comfortable with that. All right, and I kind of hid these questions from you. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on these. You guys can click on them and use them for whatever you want to, but I'm going to drag them out so you guys can't see them. And I'm gonna say, all right, thumbs up. Would you rather be really hairy or thumbs down, completely bald? I don't know, I guess it depends. If you lived in Alaska, you might want to be really hairy. All right. All right, thumbs up if you'd rather eat healthy, or thumbs down, exercise regularly. Eat healthy, exercise. I don't eat very healthy, so I like to exercise, but I get home from my bike ride and I'll have a bag of Doritos. All right, let's see. I'm trying to pick ones that kind of maybe have to do with some of the global goals. Would you rather be rich and ugly, thumbs up, or thumbs down, poor and good looking? Rich and ugly. Yes, some poor and good looking. Good combination there. Partly why I wanted to do this, and you can do, as you can see from the slide there, you can do closed hand, open hand. So closed hand would be something like this versus open hand. So just something that's really makes it obvious what those different options are. And what this helps do without really forcing people, it helps to get people to turn their cameras on, because that's how you interact with people, especially in a classroom or presentations or professional development, things like that. Not everybody's comfortable with that. And so obviously some people still left their cameras off and I couldn't tell whether you were doing thumbs up or thumbs down. But at least it gives people the option without forcing them. So that's kind of a fun way. You could have them get up and do dances or spin around or do whatever, but that way at least it kind of requires the video and encourages them to do that. All right, let's get into, so I left some blank pages here for you in the notebook that you guys can type in and take notes if you wish. All right, so here's another one that will probably require a camera. Has anybody heard of the global goals? If you've heard of the global goals, give me some jazz hands. If you know what one or more of them are, give me the fist pump. And if you could teach them, give me the rainbow wave. Well, you've heard of them. Most people haven't. All right. Elizabeth's the only one that I saw with some jazz or rainbow. Which one was it? Did you teach them? Good. New to most of you. Very good. All right. So what I'll do then is I'm going to share a little video, and this is actually going to take a few minutes because I do want to have you guys understand and know what the global goals are. So here's kind of an introduction to what they are.
We can be.
We must
Somebody give me
be
a thumbs
the
up.
first generation
to end extreme poverty.
The generation
Most determined
to fight injustice
and inequalities.
The generation that saves the planet from climate change.
And this is how it will get done.
The global goals.
a 15-year plan
For everyone.
Everywhere.
with no one left behind.
We will live in a world
where nobody
anywhere
lives in extreme poverty.
Where no one
goes hungry.
where no one
Wakes in the morning asking if there will be food today.
We will live in a world
Where no child has to die of
Diseases we know how to cure.
And where proper health care
is a lifelong right for us all.
We will live in a world
where everyone
goes to school. And education gives us the knowledge
And skills
For a fulfilling life.
We will live in a world where all girls and all women have equal opportunities
to thrive
and be powerful and safe.
we cannot succeed if half the world is headed back.
We will live in a world
where all people can get clean water
And proper toilets at home,
at school, and at work.
We will live in a world where there is sustainable energy for everyone.
heat, light, and power for the whole planet.
Without destroying the planet.
We will live in a world where economies prosper. And new wealth
Lead to decent jobs for everyone.
And we will live in a world where our industry,
our infrastructure and our
best innovations.
Are not just used to make money, but to make all our lives better.
we will live in a world
Where prejudices and extremes of inequality
Are defeated.
Inside our countries and between different countries.
Where people live in cities and communities
that are safe, progressive,
And support everyone who lives there.
where we replace
what we consume.
Planet where we put back
What we take out of the earth.
We live in a world that is decisively rolling back the threat of climate
change.
where we restore
and protect the life in our oceans and seas.
will restore
And protect life on land.
The forests.
Animals.
the earth itself.
With peace between and inside countries.
where all governments are open.
And answer to us for what they do at home and abroad.
And the justice rules.
With everyone equal before the law.
Where all countries and we their people.
Work together.
Partnerships of all kinds.
To make these goals a reality.
These are the United Nations global goals.
For sustainable development.
Let's get to work.
All right, so what do you think? Pretty powerful, huh? Maybe you guys can use some of these somewhere at some point. Okay, so you probably didn't have time to, I didn't give you time to download and or make a copy or print these off. But what I want you to do next is thinking about that video. If you were any superhero, you can be any superhero you want to be. I want you to just write down, if you guys have a piece of paper or if you want to use your computer, whatever it might be, but draw, right, how you would respond to one of those goals or a few of those goals as your superhero. So if you were Superman, how would you respond to those goals? If you were the Hulk, how would you respond to those goals? So go ahead and write or draw, or I'll give you about a minute to do that. I need my Jeopardy music in the background. All right. I think I missed one. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about some different breakout options. And so I'm going to need Beth's help here since I can't do that as host. But I found that people have been getting really creative with different ways to break out. And so I put a couple of those different options here. And we're actually going to break out. And so I want you guys to be able to experience what it would be like to talk about a topic and interact and do that. You can also, if you'd like to, talk about some of the different engagement activities or some of those as well. But the first option that I'm not going to do, because I don't have a real good example in terms of the global goals of how to do this. But so say, for example, Andrew just did this earlier with our virtual field trip workshop. He said, we're going to break out, and if you want to stay and talk to the presenter, ignore the breakout request. If you want to go and just kind of talk with some other people, accept the breakout request, and then you guys can all talk in that group. So basically the first group is gets to talk to the presenter, and the second group gets to talk with just amongst themselves. Andrew, anything else you want to share about that style of breakout? You're muted.
No, I don't have anything to add. It worked really well at the VFT content provider session, and I'm excited to take part in it again.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, the next one is just randomly assigned. So Beth, I'm gonna have you randomly assign, and we'll just do, since we have 25 people, let's just do 5 groups, and that'll just roughly get us about 4 or 5 in each group. And in your group, now this is probably the most important part, and that's just to have clear instructions for what you want that group to do and a clear time frame. And so in your group, your task is to assign a timer, a recorder, and a reporter. I want you to investigate the different goals and what they mean. Review their targets. Targets, a new word. We've heard about what some of the goals are, so you'll have to figure out what some of the targets are. And then time permitting, some initial thoughts on how to make an impact with that particular goal. And so those would be your instructions. And so I'm going to actually do this.
Okay.
And then be prepared to report out just a little 30-second commercial. And like I said, if you guys want to talk about not only the Global Goals website, so you'll have to click on the website to actually get into, like if you want to see what poverty is and what the different targets are for poverty. And it probably would be good to demonstrate what that would look like. So I want you guys to go to the website, choose the goal, and then explore some of the targets. So that's what that looks like. All right, Beth, you ready?
Yes, I am. All right, here we go. Cool. So I set it whenever I close it, they just get 10, oops, yeah, they just get 10 seconds to come back.
Awesome.
But we can give them a 1-minute timer. Are you timing?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. So we can send a message.
You can rename. I have my iPad set to the one cool one. You can change that.
Yes. Okay.
Say
All right.
Jason's iPad. Whoops.
Gotcha. I wondered who that was, and I was gonna check on that, and then I spaced it off. Oh,
I guess I can do it too.
yeah. Okay. Thank you. I was trying to change it in the chat, and I was going, "Why? I know I could do that." Not yeah.
I learned to make sure that to have a second device going.
That's a good tip. Yeah. Just so that you know what it looks like from the end user point of view.
Yeah, that's super helpful. But I've had my computer crash too. And so being able to pick up and at least get back in and be able to talk. And
yeah. Okay. That's a good idea too.
so both of those, yeah, I can see what they're seeing as far as the screen.
Yeah. Very good.
When it hits 129, you can give them a 1-minute warning.
Okay.
These global goals are actually really cool if you have any interest in that sort of thing. It's the word I'm trying to look for. Advocacy, that's not right word.
Okay, I'm going to send the right. That's what I have, 129, right? You good?
1-minute warning.
Okay. I'll see it. And again, I just set it to 10 seconds. So once I close them, it'll just have 10 seconds before they come back. So
that's a, excuse me, super nice feature to be able to.
Yes, for sure.
It is nice. The 1 minute is nice because it lets people wind down their conversations, but hopefully they're paying attention in the 1 minute.
I know. Right. Yeah. Yep. And then they can always leave too, you know, at any time too. So,
Yep.
Okay, are we about ready?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was 10, it's 20 or 15, I mean. Close enough.
All right, looks like we're coming back. Very good. We have everybody back. Okay, let's. The other one that I wanted to show you, and just for time's sake, I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to have you participate and see what it looks like. As long as the security setting is set, oh, we need to allow you to rename yourselves. Oops. So one of the other things that we do on a regular basis is to, for example, yesterday or Tuesday we did this. We want you to rename yourself to match the ESU that you're in, for example. So for this example, I want you to rename yourself so we can put you in a group, and we're not actually going to put you in a group. So, but I do want you to rename yourself to match the goal that you would want to work on. So if you want to work on number 4, I want you to rename yourself, and to rename yourself, what you need to do is open up the participants window. So participants is at the bottom on your screen. And then hover over your name with your mouse, click on more, and then rename. And so for example, I would rename myself to be 4 space Jason. So I'll go ahead and just do that just so you guys can see. And so now, if everybody renames themselves, it's really easy for the person who's creating those breakout rooms to create 17 breakout rooms and then put all the 4s into one, put all the 1s into one, put all the 6s into another breakout room. Does that make sense? And it's really easy to do to have those folks rename themselves. Now, depending on your audience, if you have a rambunctious class who likes to clown around and might have some fun with naming, you just have to be careful with that, I guess. I always like to put funny names in mine to see if anybody notices. But
is that one of the features that you can turn off on the Zoom settings in the profile?
Yes. So when you're setting up a meeting, you can. I'm not sure if it's in the actual settings, but it's also in the security. For those who have host and co-host privileges, there's a security button, and that rename yourself is either allowed or disallowed there too.
Gotcha.
Right, Jason, I don't know that you'd like your junior high students to rename themselves.
Yeah, that
could be an
adventure. Junior
adventure.
high student. But maybe for something like this, you just have them rename to their number, and then you can lock it again. So I can go in, and now that you guys have renamed yourselves, I can go and say, okay, now you can't rename yourselves anymore. So, all right. The last thing that I wanted to mention is, depending on your situation, like for example, my wife was doing professional development for a group out on the East Coast, and she had them pre-register for that session. If they're pre-registered, it sends an email, and you can put that email in a pre-assigned breakout group, which is really, really handy. And so you can have everybody broken out before the session even starts, which makes it really fast then, especially if you have 50 plus people. and you're not just doing random, you can pre-assign them to, if you know that, you want fourth grade teachers to work with themselves and second grade teachers to work with themselves, you can break them up that way. So you can do pre-assign if they register. Or if you know their email addresses, you can, it's all based on their email addresses. So I just wanted to share that. All right, let's get on to the next thing. Mike, this is the one where I thought it might work a little better. This is called annotating. And what I want you guys to do is annotate this grid. So here in a second, I'm going to blow up this image. And what you're going to do is in your share screen window, if you hover over that, there will be a little drop down to allow you to annotate. And so let me blow this up. And so now what I want you to do is click that annotate button. And my instructions were to, which goal do you feel our group, based on your conversations, could make the most impact? And so what I want you to do is click annotate. And then if you click the stamp button and the arrow, I'll show you. So for example, I think education would be one. So you guys can click the stamp. You can actually, everybody do a stamp on the one that you think we as a group could make the most impact.
I might be wrong, but I don't think annotation feature is turned on right now.
It was not. It is now. That's another one of those security settings. Is it available now?
I'm not seeing it, Jason.
Should be able to.
It kicked on for me. Give it a second if it hasn't, or click the view options and pull that menu down and it should pop up there.
Yeah.
There we go. Awesome.
Andrew's got it. Yeah, so you can see some of you are putting some stamps on there. And you can put multiple stamps on. You can, if you use your mouse, I believe, nope. Oops. I'm messing it up for you guys. Okay, now I want you to switch from your stamp. And I want you to draw a circle or a box around not necessarily the ones that we could make the most impact, but is of the most interest to you. And you can change the color if you want to. Did it again. So this just gives you an idea. You can, all those different tools are available to you. The text tool, the draw tool, the stamp tool. Under, at least on my annotation box, the spotlight, if you click that, it also has an arrow. And Andrew did that on one of them. So this is kind of handy. If you choose the arrow under spotlight, it actually attaches the name to it too. So if, for example, I wanted to do number 17 here, see how it's putting an arrow, it says my name on there. So that's really handy. It just takes the whatever you're named as you're in your participant list. So you could have them do that as well. The spotlight is just kind of makes your mouse look like a little spotlight. So if you want to spotlight something. So in the chat there, what are some things you guys are thinking of as far as how you might use this annotation tool? I'm going to clear your things on there. Get students to create and doodle. Yeah, for sure, Laura, especially for the things that you do. Yeah, I like the idea that they don't have to leave Zoom to be able to do something like this, and they can annotate on a slide. So I could actually have you guys annotate right on this slide right here if I wanted to. Very nice. Yeah. World map and ask them to mark the map. Yeah. I would pick anywhere but Kearney, Nebraska. You get stuck in your own town for 9 months, 11 months, whatever it's been. Yeah, good ideas. Yeah. Oh yeah, finish a scene. I like that with the drawing tools. Multiple choice, you can have them, yeah. Very good. Nice. Good ideas. Whiteboard is almost exactly the same thing. The only difference is you don't start with necessarily an image, you don't start with a screenshot or something like that, but you still have the same exact annotation tools. And so one of the examples I was just thinking in my mind, I won't do it since we only have 8 minutes left, but so I was thinking, as far as a Venn diagram, have you guys think about the targets for the goal we're selected, and then where the impacts would likely fall. And so the two circles are my local community, what impact that global goal would have locally, and then what impact would have globally. And so some things might not impact you locally. For example, the plastic garbage in the ocean doesn't necessarily impact us in central Nebraska, but that would definitely be a global impact. So, and then some of those shared both. So that was just one idea I had of doing a Venn diagram within just a whiteboard activity. I'm sure you guys have a ton of different things that you can think of for that. All right. You've seen a little bit about this, and so as an instructor, I might want to focus on goal number 14, which is life below water. And so one of the things that I might do is, let's see here, I have to quit sharing for a second to do this. And so what I want to do dynamically here as I'm talking is change my background. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to go out to the ocean. And so here we are taking a little cruise, because what we want to do is talk about life below water. And so once we get to our spot, we are going to take a little plunge. And here we are. And so now I want to talk about our life below water unit. And then at this point, I have the fish swimming behind me. And we can talk about some of those different targets, sustainable fishing, coral reefs, those types of things. So just I guess the point of this in terms of engagement is it matters the visuals that students see or whoever it is matters. Just like when you guys first logged on to today's sessions, all the NDLA board members have the NDLA background. And so you know, just by looking at that participants list or the videos, I'm sorry, who those NDLA board members are. And you can either contact them or whatever it might be. You could send them a direct message in the chat. Or, you know, like in my case, if I'm using it as an instructional tool, without being distracting, still using it as a tool to help them get thinking about and focused on a particular topic. So I just wanted to point that out. That might be a fun tool to use. I've seen Canva has a lot of templates that you can use that you could change into more instructional type things. I've seen some really fun ones like Zoom bingo on your background. You know, this talks about a dog barking or, you know, somebody saying repeated things over and over. And then after a while you get a bingo. So maybe that happens in your class. Maybe you guys are doing something fun for that. So, all right, get back to the presentation here. All right, we have 3 minutes, it looks like. So in the chat, I want you to share 3 words that describe what you've learned about global goals so far. You can only use 3 words. Tough, isn't it? Got some good ones. Big picture thinking, water, earth, air. That it exists. Funny. I like it. Hope all species. Yeah. Lots of them. 17. Lots of work, definitely. Did anybody catch what year they want to have these done by? Yeah, 2030. Good job, Heather. You get the gold star for the day. Broad coalition collaboration. Wow. Good. Yeah, so just little things like that. The purpose of this particular one is not only are you letting folks stop and process, but you're getting a feel for, are they picking up on what you're laying down? And so just kind of a little check-in. And so forcing them to the 3 words really forces you to think about what those would be. All right, we won't have time to create a PSA. And so this is just another one of those things, hands-on activities that they could work with a partner in doing. And so you could take a look at that. Here you're referring back to the very beginning when we started talking about that superhero guide and the impact that you could make, and then using that throughout the lesson then as kind of your worksheet or planning guide or whatever your end goal might be. And so not necessarily creating a superhero guide, but just referencing something at the very beginning to tie everything back together. And then I had the extend tab here was just some different ideas of ways to maybe think about engagement. You guys shared some of those at the beginning with, for example, Mentimeter and Flipgrid and some of those. We just done VFT, so that was in my mind. I was thinking I could literally go outside with my phone, connect to this meeting and talk about different things side and you guys could chat and discuss how that would impact these global goals. And so those are just some ideas. And if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to drop me an email. And I would love for you to share what you took away from this session. If you click on that last slide, just click on takeaway. And thanks for being here. I appreciate it. It's fun to be able to share some of this stuff that we've been collecting and curating for the past few months. Some different fun ideas. So thank you.
Thanks, Jason. I did include a link to the sketch if you needed a link to that. And check your second breakout session. So hopefully we'll see you at the next session. So I am going to shut this session down and we'll see you soon.